So hello friends of the French for Legion, I am greeting you. Today is Sunday, we are in Germany, it's about midi. We had about, at noon, we had about, minus 4 degrees, no snow, everything is okay. Normally we should have a blizzard today, but I'm still waiting. Still nothing going on. So it's the calm before the storm, I suppose so. And today I will talk to you a little bit about the worst thing I lived within the French for Legion. The baddest thing, the scene I lived, I saw, I was protagonist with, or I testimonied, And I think one of the hardest moments in my life in the French for Legion was the war in Bosnian, 1992-93. And we have been deployed in Sarajevo airport with my company, first company of the second rep. And what I saw there, what I was watching there, what I was experienced there was really hard sometimes, And I remember one scene I will never ever forget in my life. It was one night I was sitting in my Vive, WAB, it's an armored carrier, tank, troop carrier, and I had on my knees a boy, about 8 years, and on my left knee and my right knee I had a girl, his sister, about 6 years, and in front of me, maybe 2 meters away from me, was the mother of both children, and she was wounded, blessed. She had about 2 bullets in the chest, and I knew that the mother will pass away in a couple of hours, sure. So she did finally. And I was sitting here with her children in my arms, and I didn't know what to tell them. What did you want me to tell them? That war is bullshit? That everything is not like it used to be? That it's not correct what's going on around them? No, I couldn't tell them nothing. The only thing I could give them is a little bit confidence in the future. And this was really hard to see. A girl and a boy watching their mother passing away. And the mother was so strong. She didn't moan, she didn't scream, she just were looking at the 2 children, and she was looking sometimes at me. And for me it was hard to understand what's going on there. What kind of communication we have. Me, the soldier from the United Nations, French Foreign Legion, I was there to help. Then the eyes from the boy fixing the mother, the mother's eyes fixing the girl's eyes, and the girl's eyes fixing my eyes. It was really hard to understand, really hard to cope with the situation, And this is one of the hardest moments. And the next hardest moment was that one day in the early morning, it was about 4 a.m. I made a patrol with one of our P-Cat. P-Cat is like a jeep, and I found on the side of the road, I found an old mother. She was about 65 years old. She was dead. She was frozen dead, but she was shot dead. Had a lot of impacts, a lot of bullets in her body. And she wore a grey coat and a red hair scarf, and in her right hand she still holds potatoes. Maybe 4 or 5 kilo potatoes. The food she wanted to bring to her sons and to her daughters in Sarajevo, but she was dead. She died because she wanted to help her family in Sarajevo. They had nothing to eat. They had no water. They had no electricity. They have a poor life. And the grenades and the artillery are shooting all the time. Machine guns are shooting all the time. A lot of battle noises, You could hear the tanks, from the Bosnian army. You could hear the artillery of the Chetniks surrounding Sarajevo. High top the Mount Ikman, It was really hard to cope with. And I think the hardest thing to cope with was that I knew that there was a war, almost in the center of Europe, It was a guerre between religions. Muslims and Christians. But there was a war also between brothers. You know, Serbians against Croats, Croats against Muslims, Bosnians against Croats, and Croats against Serbs. It was crazy. Normally, in Yugoslavia also, yeah, normally they were brothers. They had marriages, mixed marriages, you know, marriages between Croats and Serbs and Yugoslavia, and Bosnians and Yugoslavia, and so on. They had children coming from the different people, from the different nations. But they were mixed, they were one family, and now they're making war against each other. So the war split the community. It was a brother war in the center of Europe. And we could do nothing to help them really out. And this was the hardest time. It was the hardest moment for me. You know? People were suffering. People were shooting one to each other. People had nothing to eat. People died. Children screamed. And yeah, it was war. It was war. Yeah. And I saw death. Normally, the human nature had taken the lessons from the Second World War. That war is not good for nobody. But no, we didn't learn. You know, in the weekend, I knew that Europeans coming from France, from Spain, from Germany, from United States of America, with their rifles, to kill people for fun. You know, and this is true. It's not a rumor, it was true. I have seen this. This is human nature. I don't know, I don't understand the human nature. Being like this. Yeah? Killing people for fun. Wow. Nothing. You know? And then we had, of course, the mission tarmac, on the tarmac. We had to avoid that the Bosnians can come from Butmir to Ilica using the airport. And the airport, we controlled the airport, and the Serbian Chetniks controlled all over. And our mission was to avoid Bosnian fighters coming from Butmir via airport to Dobrinja, to Sarajevo. And sometimes we had people, Bosnian, who wanted to bring out dead people from Sarajevo, from Dobrinja to Butmir. But the Serbs won't let them out with the deaths. So, where was the honor? Where was the honor? Yeah, I didn't cope with. Once I had a teacher in front of me, a teacher in my web carrier, and he fell on his knees in front of me. And he asked me, please, sir, Legionnaire, I need to go to Butmir. I need to go there now. Here, you have all my money. And he wanted to give me 800 marks. And I said, no, take your money, keep your money. What do you want? You want to go there? Okay, I will bring you there. For me, it was disobeying an order received from my officers. But I didn't care. I'm a human, you know? And I see this man, this old teacher in front of me, losing his honor, almost crying. Bad. And then, each night on the tarmac, we had it was mission crossing mission, called the mission crossing. We had about 35 up to 40, 45 deaths every single night. Bosnian girls, boys, old men, fighters, combatants, partisans, every night. And sometimes we had to put them in black bags, sacks, bring them to our infirmary. Some were living, some were dead. And sometimes you could see that the bodies in the black sacks, in the bags, were moving. They were still alive, but they were exposed to coldness. It was crazy. crazy. It was inhuman. It was a war not for warriors. It was a war for, I don't know, peoples without soul. I never understood what we have done there, you know, never. And then, moving from one to the other, from the operations to the other, in 97 in Congo Brazzaville, I saw with my eyes, I witnessed, there was a boy marching in a supermarket, steal something. Then he comes out again, but he was held back by the fighters, by the cobras, and they put them on their knees, on his knees, and they shot them to death with a bullet in the head because he stole something to eat. And all over in the streets you could see dead men, dead women lying on the back. You know, every 12, every 15 meters. This was the things I couldn't cope with. You know, the hardest things in the French Foreign Legion was not the operation, not the military part, no. It was the kind of collateral human damage I witnessed. Yeah, I witnessed. It was crazy. You know? Chad, 91. We were out to have some fun, to drink some beers. Once we had been in a bar. And in the bar there had been some, easy girls. But I just wanted to drink a beer. I don't wanted a girl. No, I just wanted to drink my fucking beer. So all of my comrades have been with the easy girls, having fun. I didn't want to. And then an old man came to me, an African man came to me and said, "Hey, you don't like girls? You want a boy?" And I said, "No, I don't want a boy. I just want to drink my beer. Leave me alone." And after a while he came back and he told me, "Hey, you see the girl there?" And I had a look, I turned my head and I saw a girl standing there next to the door. She was about 11 years old. And he told me, "Hey, you can have this girl. Just give me $1,000. And I said, "No, fuck, I don't want a girl." Nah? And then he came closer to me and he told me, "Hey, give me $1,000 and the girl is yours. You can do everything you want. You can do with her everything you want to do with her. Nobody will cry about her. And if she disappears forever, don't worry, everything is fine." And I was there. Fuck. I couldn't believe it. So I left immediately the bar and I went home to sleep. It was crazy. You know? And things like that makes me that today I still have finally maybe some regrets because I couldn't help. You know? It was not the operation, not the war, not the fightings, not the shootings, not the interventions. It was collateral human damage. It was the hardest thing for me to cope while being in the French Foreign Legion. That's it. Yeah. And I made some notice here. Maybe I have another point. Yeah. No, everything is done, you know. And I think these things will forever be engraved in my head. They never will leave me. Not for the good. So someday my wife will bury me with all these things in my head. Yeah. And that's why I'm telling you today, war is bullshit. Don't make war. Never. Stop war. Stop all wars in the whole world. Yeah. That's my message today for you. Yeah. Make peace. Make love. Make everything. But don't make war. It's not worth the case. I think anyway that the hardest moments in the life of a soldier is that when you cannot help, when you cannot act, when you cannot move, when you cannot do nothing, when you cannot do anything. You know, it's when you're a soldier and when you are in an ambush, when you are under fire, you can help yourself. You can be active. You can intervene. You can operate. You know. But when you are testimony of some war scenes when people fighting each other, when old men, when children, when no combatants are the victims, and you are condemned to be passive, not to be active. I think it's the biggest punishment for a soldier. Huh? That's what I think. And when you see all the collateral human damages around you, that's it. And nevertheless, you can say what you want. The French Foreign Legion in my time, and still today, they have been fair. So I never received an order to kill no combatants or women or old men. This was the rule. You make war, but you make war against warriors. Never against any civilian guys. Never against no combatants. Never against women, children, elderly. Never. So I was never pushed over my moral reception or perception. And the French Foreign Legion was fair towards us because we never received an order against the law. So everything was clean, everything, always, all the time. No crime, no bullshit. That's it. And that's true. And the French officers never were bullshitting with us, never. They have been always correct. Most of the times they have been correct. This is what I have in memory. Because I left the army in 2002. I left the Legion in 2002. Under the circumstances I already mentioned, And of course, sometimes as a legionnaire, you had to do things you were not happy with. Things you didn't wanted to do, things you didn't like, things you did not like at all. But never think without against my moral perception. Never. I never was pushed to carry out any crime. No. Never. And I never in my life gave an order to a legionnaire to do so. Never. And this is good. This is good. Because I knew armies in the world, other soldiers from other nations, from other countries, who did so. Yes, they committed crimes. But in my times, the French Foreign Legion didn't. And that's true. And this is also what I am proud of. To have been a part of a unit, of a corps d'armée, who is clear, who is frank, who is okay. Let's say okay. Let's use the term okay. It's okay. It was okay.